Southeastern Ohio Legal Services. Today we're continuing our self-employment series talking about estimated tax payments. Feel free to leave a comment or a question in the comments and we'll answer what we can. Luke, estimated tax payments is a concept most people are not familiar with. Can you give us an introduction to today's topic?
Definitely. So normally people pay income tax when they get their paycheck. Your federal income tax is withheld or is automatically taken off your paycheck by your employer and paid to the federal government. When you file your tax return the next year, if you withheld more tax than you owed, you get a refund. But if you don't withhold enough, you could owe the IRS at tax time. Estimated tax, on the other hand, is how people pay tax on income that isn't subject to withholding. This normally happens with self-employed taxpayers. Estimated tax is used to pay both the income tax and self-employment tax.
And Megan, how do I know if I need to make estimated tax payments?
You may need to make estimated tax payments in 3 situations. If you have self-employment income, will not pay tax through other wages you earn, like a second job that withholds taxes, and you expect to owe more than $1,000 when you file your federal tax return.
Luke, how will I know if I expect to owe more than $1,000 when I file my tax return?
To make a quick calculation of your estimated tax liability or the amount you'll owe, you first need to figure out your average net income. To do this, you should look at 3 months of income and 3 months of expenses. You'll subtract the expenses from the income to figure out your net income for that 3-month period. Next, you'll multiply the amount in step 1 by 4 to calculate your estimated net income for the year. So here's an example. Let's say your income for 3 months is $30,000 and your expenses during that period is $10,000. Your net income for the 3 months is $20,000. If you multiply your net income for those 3 months, sometimes called a quarter, by 4, you would arrive at your net income of $40,000. Or sorry, of $20,000. You then multiply that by 4 to get your estimated net income of $80,000 for that year. You would then next multiply the net income by the self-employment tax rate, or 15.3%. In our example, this equals $12,240, which would be the self-employment tax that you'd owe for the tax year. Finally, you divide the self-employment tax by 4 to represent your estimated tax payment, or $3,060. You divide by 4 because you make 4 payments to the IRS, as Megan will explain.
Megan, when do I make federal estimated tax payments?
Well, the IRS expects you to pay by the deadlines that I'll talk about in a second. If you miss one, make that quarterly tax payment as soon as you can. Once a due date has passed, the IRS will typically impose a 0.5% penalty of the entire amount you owe, not just a missed payment. Tax payments are due on the following dates, and I'll use 2023 as an example. The 4 estimated tax payments in 2023 would be due April 15th, 2023, June 15th, 2023, September 15th, 2023, and January 16th, 2024.
Luke, how should I make the payments?
You can make the payments in one of 4 ways. You can go online using direct pay. You can go to irs.gov/payments and select direct pay. You could do it by telephone using a debit or credit card by calling 888-729-1040. You can do it by direct transfer, or you can mail Form 1040 ES with the payment voucher and payment. You can go to irs.gov and search where to file tax returns for that information.
And I'll go ahead and drop a link to that information as well in the chat, or excuse me, in the comments. Megan, what if I don't make estimated payments during the year?
Unless you had other withholding or credits that decrease the tax that you owe, you'll have to pay the tax when you file the return, and you may have to pay a penalty. If you didn't know about this requirement before, start following it now to avoid those additional penalties.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and thanks Megan and Luke for telling us about estimated taxes. And as a reminder, this is our 5th in our series of videos on self-employment. Join us next time on December 16th when we talk about refund anticipation loans and choosing a tax preparer. And remember, this segment and all the others in our Tax Chat series are available on our Facebook page. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.